Hey guys, welcome to short notice, basically Stolen Valor news thing. Pretty crazy, pretty crazy. And of course, you guys know this guy, I think.
What's up?
That's Gay Tom Selleck.
Hi. Hi, I'm actor Gay Tom Selleck. I'd like to
He's
talk to you about bringing Stolen Valor going too far into your heart.
That's right, Stolen Valor going too far. And this one's a crazy one. And I would like to thank one of my followers who sent me a link to it because I hadn't heard about it. And I looked at the link and I was like, holy crap.
Yeah.
This is just nuts. It's totally just nuts. There's a bunch of stuff. So if you look up Stolen Valor shooting Seattle, there's a whole bunch of information on it. And we haven't looked at a lot of it. I just saw the first link, but we're going to kind of look at it and then we're going to talk about it. And I've been doing this since, well, right before I retired, actually. I was still on active duty when I first kind of dabbled with it a little bit with John Leela when he was still alive, and thisain'thell.us when that website was still outing people.
Yeah.
And then, of course, on YouTube. So I've been doing it a long.
I would spend hours on that This Ain't Hell site. You just go through like archives and just like, holy shit. And look at these Stolen Valor guys. Like, goddamn.
Well, my very first big case was on their site, and it was the guy they called the Round Ranger, Derek Church.
I feel like I know that name, but I don't remember the Round Ranger.
Big fat fuck, had a Ranger beret on, dressed over the wrong eye, wearing dress blues. Another National Guard failure. I got all when I sent the FOIA request to North Carolina National Guard. They sent me everything. I had so much shit I had to shred, just because they probably shouldn't have sent it to me. But I talked to a lieutenant on the phone down there because he called me when he got my request. And I told him what I was doing, and he was like, that big fat fuck, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, well, this is what he's claiming. And yeah. But, I kind of
guys, was it Shipley? Who had the guy that shot himself and tried to blame, or was that?
Oh, that was one of the Green Beret impersonators on This Ain't Hell. Yeah, shot himself, threw the gun out the window in a bag. And, of course, they found the gun. And he was trying to blame that on John, John had progressed so far with his Parkinson's that, he couldn't even get around very well. Mm. And, yeah.
Let alone go shoot a guy for it.
Well, fucking Kaiser shot himself.
Yeah. God, that's right. It's easy to kind of forget about all the crazy shit Kaiser did. Kaiser shot himself in the arm.
This whole Stolen Valor thing is just crazy. All right, let me bring up this stuff. So what I want to look at is
so is the dude? Yeah, I don't want to get too far ahead here, but is the guy's actually a veteran? That
we'll get there. As you can see, disabled Navy veteran. Yeah, he survived the shooting, but we'll get there.
Okay.
We'll play this video and then we'll talk a little bit about it.
Right now at 5, new video just in showing the moment a man in a wheelchair was shot and survived on the Seattle waterfront. Take a look. That was the scene on July 31st when a 68-year-old man in a wheelchair was shot in the chest after being accused of pretending to be a member of the military. Police say when the charged gunman demanded military ID, the victim pulled a knife and then an airsoft gun, prompting the suspect to pull the real gun and fire. Attorneys for the suspected gunman claim it was self-defense, but prosecutors say it doesn't apply if you start the fight. The suspect now faces felony assault charges and is held on $750,000 bail while the victim remains hospitalized.
Developing this morning, police are searching.
So, yeah, that was so that's the first clip. That's the first clip. And there's several other ones that I want to look at because I mean, that's just insanity. And then they said the prosecutors, if you started the fight, okay, yeah, I get that. It's not self-defense if you shoot somebody. So what you're saying is if you get in an argument with somebody and they pull a gun on you, you can't shoot them? You can't pull a gun out and shoot them?
If you started the fight.
If you started the fight, you can't shoot them? You just have to let the guy shoot you?
Yeah, exactly.
That doesn't make a whole lot of friggin' sense.
No. It was a weird scenario, too. Then the guy shot him and then was still
standing there talking shit.
Military ID. It's like, you just shot him in the chest, dude.
Let me find the good one.
Charles, that's a law in the books in Washington. I mean, that's what it seemed to.
This one,
from what I saw, what I read, or whatever, just a little bit.
This one here is. This one here is a little bit better. I think they did a better job covering it at about the same time. Oh, of course.
Charles, I haven't. Master Retired has.
Park happened in front of
dozens Charles, of thank you for sending me that.
Video shows several people recorded the entire confrontation and the actual shooting and also the suspect's arrest. It turns out the shooters made headlines for another crime 5 years ago in Florida. That in a second, but first we're going to show you this video. We're going to pause it as the shot is fired at the waterfront. Now, prosecutors say this man, 32-year-old Gregory William Tim, claimed the man he was confronting in the wheelchair, Harold James Powell, was pretending to be a member of the military in public. So on the video, from two angles, you can clearly see and hear Gregory Tim demanding Powell show military ID. At one point, Tim rips a military patch off of Powell's wheelchair. Powell seen wheeling his chair towards Tim, reaching into his shirt. Tim takes several steps back, pulls a handgun out of a zip bag, aims and shoots Powell once in the chest, wounding him. Now, the video shows it took several minutes for the SPD and for medics to arrive at that scene. Turns out emergency services officers detained Tim, who never moved. His hands were up while Tim was calmly explaining his gun was in his bag. We have since learned this same suspect was charged with aggravated assault in Jacksonville, Florida in 2020 for intentionally ramming his van through a Trump supporter's tent, sending half a dozen people scrambling. He was convicted of a lesser charge in that case. Turns out it was criminal mischief, spent some time in jail. Detectives here describe Tim as a drifter. That's the latest from the live desk. I'm Gary Hoy.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
So that happened in Florida. Now he's in Washington State.
Yeah.
And I gotta be honest, I was kind of surprised he hit him center mass on the fucking. He pulled that thing here. His stance was fucking terrible. He just fucking stuck the gun out. I guess he wasn't that far, but I guess the tactics aren't what's in question here. So
okay, so let's roll back and talk about basics stolen valor stuff.
Yeah.
First off, every one of these idiots that confront somebody in public and starts yelling stolen valor and demanding an ID card, do not do that. Do not do that. If you're going to have a conversation with them, try and garner some type of information where you could do the background checks to find out, first off. But don't create a big scene because you look like the big idiot.
Yeah, you look like you're going. You look like that was big for a little bit. Remember on the videos they would do like I don't know if it's TikToks or whatever or shorts. somebody coming up and like yelling at a doofus in the mall or something.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
yes, is that guy in the wrong? Absolutely. I mean, it's obviously he's wearing it fucked up like a football bat, but you don't want to. I don't know. It just those things always bothered me because I'm like, well, that's not. Don't do this.
I mean,
like that.
You if I go to the city of Worcester, which is not too far from me, if I go there, just about every exit off the highway when you go into the city, there's somebody out there with a big sign that says "Veteran needs help."
Yeah.
And yeah,
well, I got a firsthand experience with that. I was with a buddy of mine, hippies in here. Hippie knows the dude, Biggie. This dude we called Biggie. I was with Biggie, who was also a former Marine, but we were in the Army together. We were in Iraq together, and him and I were down. I forget where, down Central Missouri or some shit. And anyway, this guy comes up and he's like, "Oh, hey, vets, blah blah blah. Hey, you think you could help out a vet?" And Biggie's like, "Hey, well, yeah, what?" Who are you with? Blah, 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 all this shit. And he's like, I was in the Marines. We were like, oh, yeah, we're Marines. Like, who in the Marine Corps? And then he gave some Army unit, and it was just clear, like, shit was all fucked up. And the guy almost didn't want to leave. We were like, get the fuck out of here, man. Like, nah, you're lying, whatever. We weren't making a scene of it. We were in a vehicle. He came up to us. And so then he's like, fuck you guys. You guys are lying. Like, all right, we just got out of there. That dude was lucky that Biggie was also a cop. Biggie had been a cop also, and he was a big dude, hence the name. But Biggie was going through some severe PTSD shit too. I've seen him get pretty aggressive. That dude's kind of lucky Biggie didn't fucking snap on his ass. Honestly, yeah, Biggie was a SWAT guy. Yeah, but yeah, he did narcotics. He did undercover narcotics and SWAT. He was a legit dude.
So according to some of the article stuff that I read, this Tim's guy snatched a military patch off of his wheelchair or whatever and was demanding that he show some type of identification showing where he was a veteran or in the military or whatever. Guys, don't do that shit. Don't do that shit. The only good thing is this guy's on $750,000 bail right now, and he's probably not getting out. And somebody mentioned, he's got a history of mental illness. If he's got a history of mental illness, I'd really be curious as to where he got the firearm from.
Also, what was he? Was he military?
I couldn't find anything on that.
He didn't. Again, the video's only showing that one part, but he didn't seem to be having a break with reality, like mental illness. I mean, again, I don't, not being a psychologist, not being a psychiatrist, and not being there and just watching a 10-second clip, but I don't know. It didn't look like he was like having like a schizophrenic break or something, but.
Yeah, it's fucking nuts.
Hey, Danny, what's going on? How you doing?
So we got another one, and it's going to show pretty much the same stuff, but it's got some additional information in it.
If I can Charles says, I think I heard he was National Guard, but not sure.
Yeah, like I said, I haven't dug into this a whole lot yet, but let's take a look at this. Helps if I unmute.
He lived. He was released from the hospital just a few days ago, and tonight he spoke exclusively with our Samantha Lomi-Bao. She joins us live now. Samantha, you met him at his house tonight. First thing, how is he?
Well, he was just released from the hospital on Sunday, but he says he is just happy and lucky to be alive. He says he's always loved playing at this waterfront, but never thought it's a place where he'd almost lose his life.
More shock, I think, than anything else. I got hit really hard right in the chest, right here, real close.
Harold Powell tells me he's grateful to live another day after this happened about 2 weeks ago on Seattle's waterfront. Cairo 7 got this video on Tuesday where prosecutors say the suspect, 32-year-old Gregory Tim, fired a gun at Powell's chest.
Right here's the bullet hole.
Powell thought that was the end for him.
I just went to, I'm going to die, so let me call my family. Heck with everything else. That's just all I thought. I didn't worry about nothing else.
Powell, a Navy veteran who is also disabled, says it happened while he was busking on the waterfront like he has been for the past 30 years. He says the suspect walked up to him and accused him of stolen valor. So Powell offered to show him his military ID. But before he could get to it, he said it was too late.
Practice being in
Well,
bad
hold
situations
on.
all my life.
That
Listen,
was
you know,
not. He was going after him with that wheelchair.
And he had an airsoft gun.
And he had an air. So they're not talking about that. They are
No,
not.
there's not a lot being said about that.
Yeah. This dude pulled an airsoft gun.
And he also supposedly, according to the first one, had a knife as well.
Pulled a knife and an airsoft gun. And clearly, by the way, that, I mean, it really looked like that wheelchair. He was going speeding as fast as he could kind of towards him in that wheelchair. Yeah, this is probably not as clean cut as it kind of. So, did they ever find out? Is this dude actually in the Navy? I mean, the news gets this shit wrong all the time. They don't bother. They tend to take anybody's word for it. But
I don't think anybody. Well, it's this really just came out today.
yeah,
Within the last 14 or 15 hours, this kind of blew up. He was actually shot on July 31st.
oh, was he really?
So, but this really just kind of hit the news waves. Yeah, Marlon, they kind of steer it around a little bit. Let's finish listening to this.
On submarine, you just got to be ready not to, if you have to face that moment, you got to practice.
Tim was arrested, but Powell says he hasn't given him much thought since then.
I refuse to complain, and I'm not going to let this guy, nothing about this guy live in my mind for rent free.
He says he's focused on himself and his family.
Move around slower and move around faster, you know? I'm just blessed, man. I can still do my thing with my family. I'm blessed.
Powell was truly in good spirits the entire time that we were talking to them. He's even visited the waterfront twice since he's been released from the hospital, once Sunday, once today. As for when he'll be back here playing music, he says that's yet to be determined. He's focused on healing. So if you'd like to help with his recovery, you can find the link to their GoFundMe on our website.
There you go. There you go. You can find the link to the GoFundMe.
I mean, he begs on the waterfront. I mean, that's what.
Yeah, he's a busker. Looks like he shakes a rattle
and asks for money. So they're like, he busks, and usually a busker is like somebody who like plays guitar and sings. It's still begging for money, essentially. But so he just sits there with a little thing like this and begs for money.
Powell explained he is a Navy veteran. His service ended when he was struck by a drunk driver in '91.
God, he looks way older, but that was our era. That was
yeah.
And
he's been playing music for donations since '95 on Seattle's waterfront.
Since '95, he seemed to have a pretty nice little place there.
Yeah, GoFundMe.
We don't hold the tin can out, hippie. That's the difference. But yeah, I'm. They didn't even give the other side. They didn't even give the other side a thought. Like maybe there's more to this than this dude was just sort of hanging out. I mean, the police. Now again, the police report is just reporting what the guy said, but he claimed that a knife was pulled, and then definitely people. There was one picture where they showed it with the airsoft pistol kind of sitting like right here on his like stomach. Look, Jimbo.
Well, he's accused. It's pretty obvious he did it since it's all on video.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he definitely did it, but it seems like.
So, you know what I find really interesting is the way that they said that the guy is a Navy veteran and is also disabled. Not a disabled veteran,
Yeah.
but
that is interesting.
is disabled and is a Navy veteran. It's kind of unusual the way they did that.
32. So you could be 32 and have been probably pretty unlikely, but I guess you could be like 32 right and have been to Afghanistan. Yeah, that what am I talking about? That of course. Yeah.
Oh, what will we be without the spider web tattoo on the
Right.
elbow?
Boy, for a homeless guy, he looks. I mean, he's got. I mean, maybe he just shaved his head.
Hey.
Hell yeah! Sorry, you bald fuck.
So here we go. Now we're talking about the airsoft gun. Let's read this a little bit better. Prosecutors allege Tim, 32, demanded to see the victim's military ID and removed a military patch from the victim's belongings moments before the shooting. This prompted the victim to unholster what investigators identified as an airsoft gun, according to video obtained by the outlet. Doesn't make any sense. It's like he pulled it out after he got shot. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. But the whole thing is weird. The guy shoots him and then is still yelling at him to show his military ID. He has a Hitler haircut.
Yeah, they weren't trying to use the disabled veteran tag, definitely. So either they're trying to do a good job and not try and make it any more than it was. I mean, it's a lot.
Yeah.
I'm just baffled by because this guy started the altercation that he no longer has a right to defend himself.
I don't know what Washington laws are like. Obviously, fuck, I don't even know how Missouri's laws are with this shit. But he did have the chance to get away.
He did. He was backed off quite a bit.
Yeah.
The wheelchair rolled up to him. He backed off. He could have turned around and just kept going.
Yeah. I mean, even when that guy came up, that guy clearly sped up to him. Okay, he was there. There was some other dude. They're not mentioning the other guy that was like also confronting this guy who was standing up. It seemed like he was kind of confronting him a bit too. And then the guy comes at him with a wheelchair and then he backs up. Yeah.
There's just a lot to unpack, but I definitely wanted to,
Yeah.
get you up here and talk about it because it's really weird. There's ways, like I said, the whole stolen valor thing. There's ways to do it and ways not to do it. This, of course, is one of the ways.
Don't shoot the guy.
Don't shoot the guy. Don't create some big brouhaha in the middle of public. It's not worth it.
No, do it on YouTube.
Do it on YouTube after the fact. Be a keyboard warrior.
It just really isn't. I don't know. I've come across it, Stolen Valor, personally. Well, one with that beggar that I was telling you about. That was probably the most recent. And then there was just like one other time, maybe twice in my whole life, like in a physical, like they're in my space kind of doing it. And yeah, the last thing I wanted to do was fight those dudes.
I've had one this year. And this guy was running around wearing he was an old, short, fat guy wearing a faded blue t-shirt that said UDT instructor on it and the hat with the big seal trident on it and all that stuff. And I didn't even talk. He came over to talk to a friend of mine. A friend of mine had bought an old police car and was asking him a bunch of questions. Hey, yeah. And of course, he's going to tell you he used to be a Navy SEAL and he was an instructor and and I was like, all right, time for me to go somewhere else because I'm going to tell this guy to go shit in his hat.
How do you know who in the bar is a Navy SEAL?
Don't tell
worry.
you.
Yeah, don't worry. He's about to tell you.
They're going to tell you. My brother-in-law, totally opposite.
Yeah.
Totally opposite. The only reason I knew is because he's my brother-in-law.
Yeah.
He was dating
I mean, there's obviously some dudes that are, I mean, it feels like, except for Rob O'Neill, like the dev group guys seem, pretty mature, but that Rob O'Neill guy is off the chain
for the most part. And my new dentist.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. I was like,
that's right. That was funny.
My new dentist. So my dentist retires. She sells the practice to this new guy. My wife goes in, meets him, very pleasant, chit-chatting. The whole military thing came up, how I don't know, in conversation. My wife's side of the family, most of them were all Navy, submarines, carriers, Navy SEAL, all on that side of the family. And he said that he did 4 years in the Navy and he was a Navy SEAL.
Which, yeah.
And she comes back and tells me that. So now I'm thinking to myself, fuck me, I'm going to have to get a new dentist because I think this guy's full of shit. So I look up his name and look up some stuff. And he was the real deal. He was in the pipeline. He enlisted on a SEAL contract. Took him a year to get through BUDS because he broke both his arms. Once he got through, he was assigned to Team 4, did a deployment, and then was going to get out, finish his degree, and come back in as an officer. And while he was out, he met this ex-Special Forces guy who was a dentist, and he was telling him all of the bennies of doing that and the money he could make. So I got a new dentist, and he was a Navy SEAL.
Yeah, the SEAL to dentist pipeline has got to be populated by one, I think.
It's got to be. It's populated by him. Dr. Nick, you're it.
Yeah, exactly. That's funny.
Deal Team 6 and SEAL Team 12. Secret. Okay, Jimbo.
Fucking Jimbo. So, Charles, there's no duty to retreat statute in Washington State.
So Jimbo's not your real name? Jimbo was his name. Oh, you guys kill me. But I mean, it is the roving best chat on the internet.
Best chat on YouTube. Fuck yeah.
By far.
Talk about an extraction specialist. Well done, Seven Cities. Well done.
Yeah, there's no duty to retreat yet. Charles, the whole thing's got me really scratching my head that they're saying that he started the altercation, therefore self-defense does not apply.
It is a weird.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. So regardless, if you get in an argument with somebody and you started the argument and then the guy pulls a gun out,
do whatever.
The guy pulls a gun out, are you supposed to just say, okay, shoot me?
Yeah, it's a weird. I can understand not having a duty to retreat. I mean, if your laws are that way or whatever, but it is weird to be like, no matter what happens, that as soon as you instigate something, then all your rights or whatever seem to be gone.
Yeah, it is. There's going to be a lot more to this story. I'm going to try and I'm going to see which court this is going through. and see if I can get any court documents on the arraignment, any of the charging documents or anything like that. Because I'd be curious to read up on that.
Yeah, to see how that
every state's different with their laws. This one kind of, I mean, if somebody pulls an airsoft gun and it doesn't have the orange tip on it, and I mean, some of those airsoft guns look like real. I mean, especially the Glock ones, it looks like a friggin' Glock.
And it was a pistol. The dude had a pistol. I think if I remember that, if I'm thinking right, I was glancing through everything, but it did look like a Glock. It had that squared thing to it, squareness to it. I'm reading Danny's.
Yeah, Danny's like freaking overloading us here. That's okay. I don't mind. But the Security and Protection Insight channel. What? Show that.
Yeah, see though, Charles, that feels like that's a different sort of thing for me. Is the bank robbery thing. Like I get that part. Like you can't sue the cops for shooting you if you're committing I do get that part. This feels like you're not allowed to defend yourself at all.
Yeah, Danny's putting a whole bunch of cool stuff in there about.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if this guy gets a lawyer, it feels like there's stuff to start picking at, you know. If the guy pulled out an airsoft gun, I feel like that changes. For me, this guy seems like this young guy seems like kind of a piece of shit dude, but still. I mean, if you're there and he's already charged you with his wheelchair. Now, granted, this guy is not trying to diffuse the situation at all. He's seemingly exacerbating it, but yeah. And he can't shoot for shit. He's lucky he hit that guy. Like Hippie was saying, he weak wristed it and it caused the jam. You could see him fucking with it. Caused a stovepipe. You could see him fucking with his pistol. Probably because he didn't have his fucking wrist locked out.
Well, if he's lucky, it's a SIG P320 and he could just say it automatically went off.
Yeah, I just pulled it and it just went off.
I pulled it out to display it and it discharged. A lot of controversy on that.
There is. Now the Army's trying to charge that guy. Holy crap, this panel was in the military for the dinosaurs.
Thanks, Maddie.
I mean, it's a common tat. I've seen it. I've seen Marines with it. Probably Army guys too. Military dudes with it.
Yeah, spider webs. Yeah, no. I think Shipley's got one.
That does he? Huh.
Yeah, I think he's got an elbow spider web.
Top 5 T-Rex in one.
Fucking A right. Still here. There can be only one. All right. Anything else we want to look at on this?
No, but let's stay on top of it. If you find out lots of sailors,
I'm going to dig up. I'll try and find out what court this is going to. See if I can get some of the documentation. I'll FOIA request any court documentation I can get. And
I wonder, you know what? Too, if you get that, maybe we should put it for you, like for the military records. And just
if I can get all of his information, if I can get a date of birth or something.
I feel like the kid you'd probably be able to, right? But they're not saying anything about that. The kid being in the middle. I keep calling him a kid. Yeah. He's 32, but
yeah, they're not saying anything about him being in the military. But
so, Danny, okay, this is where I wonder if they could argue this. So even though that they're right now right now they're framing it as the young guy started it, and then therefore he loses his self-defense rights. But if that guy pulled out even an airsoft gun in a crowd,
Those aren't cobwebs. Those aren't cobwebs. They may look like cobwebs. They're not cobwebs.
They're not cobwebs. But if he pulls that airsoft out, isn't that now a crime? And now does that dude now negate his self-defense rights because he's committing a crime too? So now they're both committing a crime and neither one has the right to protect themselves, I guess. I'm surprised that dude didn't shoot back with the airsoft gun also. Probably wasn't loaded.
The first crime that happened is when he tore the patch off the guy's stuff.
Yeah. There's probably where they're going to start with, because the arguing back and forth is nothing, right? That
public affray, disturbing the peace,
something like that, right? But it's really when he touches that guy's stuff and rips the patch off, right? Is that where it kind of becomes okay? Now it's escalated.
Yeah.
Don't take your guns to town. Well, fucking Woodrow, you're right. Period.
It's you're 100%. There is absolutely no need to confront someone in public, screaming and yelling at them for lying about being a veteran or whatever.
Yeah.
Actually, it could be unarmed robbery, theft from a person. It just depends on what state you're in and what their statutes are. It would be unarmed. Well, actually, he was armed. He just didn't display it yet. Yeah. But, theft from a person, which carries a higher level of consequence than just a regular theft. I don't know. I'll be curious to see where this goes.
Yeah.
This is going to be a good one. Hey, you got any new doofuses for Friday?
Yes. I got some new. We got all new stuff. Who do we have that's brand new? I got to take a look again. I forgot. We got this one chick. She's not going to be around much, but she is kind of a fun. She reads tarot cards and makes no sense. She's seems to be on drugs. And then we got, Karmic X is becoming the new, that guy's great. But yeah, I got a whole bunch of new clips for us on Friday. We got the wheel. I got the wheel all set up and everything, which, obviously wasn't like a big deal, but, we got the fucking wheel set up. We got everything. I got DP is going to talk to DP about making a intro for us and everything. Yeah. Getting this game show going.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. I like it. I like the format way better than just watching these guys. I don't know. Like Katie watched some of Karmic X the other day or yesterday or something. And she was just like watching it, letting them play. And he's better. He's better chopped up. He's better chopped up. Are you wearing cool cat jeans? No. How about that shit, right? Man,
he's not wearing any pants. What are you talking about? You don't have any pants on.
I do have the full Derek Savage movie. So yeah. Anyway, but I got to chop all that shit up. And then we'll get to it. I don't want to watch it in full, like we just sit there and watch it. So but it takes time to go through all that shit and all that. So shout out to Cap, for ripping that thing for me. Probably wearing capris. Go fuck yourself. Shower shoes and a war belt, motherfuckers. Shower shoes and a war belt.
Really? You had to paint that picture?
Hell yeah. Pretty skinny. What are you doing, Stella?
I don't know. All right. I wanted to get this out there. Wanted to get your take on it. Hippie, thanks for jumping in and throwing your 2 cents. Danny, thank you for all the research.
Yeah.
And there's been a bunch of great comments in there about it. Like I said, I don't know exactly where this is going. It's still, there's not a lot of solid information out there on it yet. But this one's going to be on the back burner. I'm going to keep digging and see what I can come up with. I don't have a lot of time this week or next week. Next week, I'm getting ready for last race weekend of the year,
Nice.
double points. So I've got to make sure everything's good to go. Looks like we're going to have great weather.
Perfect.
And fingers crossed, I'll walk away with a championship.
Fuck yeah. Yeah, hit that like button, everybody. Also, we got 9 p.m. Eastern time tonight. We got a strain review on Stoned Vet. It's more of a freeze pipe. We're gonna go over the freeze pipe and the strain a little bit. A little bit different, but
is it a groin back strain or a groin strain or what?
Yeah, groin strain. That's what we're gonna we're gonna talk about groin strains. Marijuana, cannabis strains. Okay. All right, Stella. Baby. Stella wants to sit right on top of me.
Well, anyway, guys, I appreciate everybody that came in and checked it out. And like I said, I'll do a follow-up on it at some point. And
yeah, I'm
thanks. I appreciate it. Yep. I'll keeping the fingers crossed for not this coming weekend, but the next one. Perfect. And hey, we'll catch you guys on the funny pages over at SV's on Friday.
Sweet. 2 p.m. Eastern time Friday. Stone Vet. Come over to our channel. We got Top, Dirty Hippie, 2 former cops, and a stoner watch doofuses and answer trivia, sort of.
Play a game that we know we'll lose.
Everybody loses.
Have a great night, guys.
All right. Later.